How y'all doing? What's the name, bro?
Jordan.
Jordan? Hey, shout out to Jordan, bro, the homie with the camera, bro. Got the good fish eye. Hey.
Right here, I'm just pumping that raw tap water through this refiner so we can get that clean water. We're gonna do a hardness test, a water hardness test. Okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna fill up this tube up to the 1 grain per gallon line right there, so we can get an accurate measuring of what's going on. Okay. 1 grain. Okay. Let me set this up here for you. So here we have my refined water and your raw tap water, okay? We're gonna use a hardness indicator. This is gonna allow us to see the pollutants that are present in that water. So we're gonna be looking for a pretty blue color indicating that it's clean and clear. If not, it's gonna turn a cherry red color, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and add 5 into each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give that a nice good shake. We get that pretty blue color, indicating it's clean and clear, right? Let's go ahead and add 5 into your raw tap. 3, 4, 5. We're gonna notice how we have those cherry red color, right? Indicating that there's pollutants present. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna measure out the grains of hardness in that water. We've seen a Tic Tac before? So that's what a grain of hardness will equal out to, okay? If we were to sit there and boil a pot of water and let the water evaporate into that crust, and you scrape all that off, compact it into a Tic Tac, that's a grain of hardness, okay? So, if it takes me 2 drops to get back to the pretty blue color, that means that there's 2 grains of hardness. If it takes me 5, there's 5 grains. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're starting to turn purple. 7. 8. Okay. So that lets us know that we have 8 grains of hardness in our water, right? So that lets us know by looking at that chart that we're pretty high up there on that chart. Now, like I said, over 8, even 8 is going to be extremely hard for city or well water, okay? So now what we're going to go ahead and do, just to kind of show you that there's no gimmicks with the chemicals and show you the difference between that raw tap and refined water, I'm just going to simply start adding in that refined water. And as I do so, you're going to notice how it stays that pretty blue color. The moment we start adding in just a little bit of that raw tap water, we're going to notice how it starts to go back to the cherry red color, contaminating that whole thing pretty quickly, right? And it only took a little bit of water to do so, right?
What are the effects of drinking some of these contaminants?
So, calcium, magnesium, and iron. It's a really big misconception nowadays that having calcium, magnesium, and iron in your water is healthy for you. These are all inorganic compounds that your body naturally tries to filter out, and when it can't filter it out anymore, it starts to get stuck in your kidneys, resulting in kidney stones, okay? And it's a really, really big thing because people think that drinking soda and this, as they do cause kidney stones, having these things in our waters, using it on a day-to-day basis, also create kidney stones. One of the biggest questions that I get asked when I do these demonstrations is, well, we boil the water, so we're not eating that, right? Well, no, we are, right? And the reason why we are is because when we boil water, right, we boil water in order to get out germs and bacteria. It does not filter out calcium, magnesium, clear ions, red ions, or petroleum byproducts. So what this system is, okay, there's going to be 3 layers to this system. This first layer right here is going to be the quartz underbedding. That's going to be the rocks that polishes out all the VOC gases in the water. VOC gases are volatile organic compounds. Really bad for us to inhale and ingest. A really big concern for people that have upper respiratory issues like asthma and things like that. Second part you have right here is the kind of looks like applesauce. That's the stratified ecolite resin. That does all your calcium, magnesium, clear ions, red ions, and all your petroleum byproducts. As to where with your traditional water softener, it only does the calcium and magnesium. So here we have your raw tap, and we have my refined water, okay? This is just a simple yellow indicator dye, so we can give that water some contrast so we can see the pollutants and minerals that are dissolved in that water to then solidify and come down to the bottom. I'm gonna add 10 drops to each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a separating agent. This is going to allow us to see those pollutants and minerals that are dissolved in that water to then solidify and come down to the bottom. I'm going to add 10 drops into each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to notice when we lift these up how those pollutants start bonding to those separating agent in there. All those pollutants and minerals. Okay? So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to give both of these a nice good shake, and then we'll let those sit right there and do its thing for a second. Okay? Go ahead and shake that refined water. Set that down right there. We're going to notice how we had bubbles, but it dissipated and went back to that clean, clear water. Give that one a nice good shake, and we start to get a lot of bubbles, right? They start to dissipate, but it just turns into that cloudy milkshake looking ordeal, right? And like I said, it takes a little bit of time for that to do its thing and really settle down, so we'll just let it sit over there and do its thing while we do the next test. You ever seen one of these before?
For like pools?
That's your standardized swimming pool hot tub chlorine tester. We're going to notice how it ranges from a light yellow on bottom to a dark yellow up top. And right here, what does that say? So it's going to be ideal for our swimming pools, hot tubs, not our drinking water, bathing water, right? Things like that. So let's go ahead and test this water for some chlorine. What we're going to use for this is just a simple chlorine OTO agent. Same exact thing you would get in that 3-way test kit. Let's go ahead and add 5 drops to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to notice how that water turns yellow almost immediately. But it takes about 30 seconds to get that full result back. We're going to notice how high we're pretty much getting on that scale already, right? We give that some contrast. We're going to see we're pretty ideal for that swimming pool, aren't we? Now, when we go swimming, right, get out, go in the house, Mom say, go take a shower and wash that chlorine off, right? Well, if our showering waters have the same level of chlorine as our swimming pool, are we really washing that chlorine off? Probably not, right? I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. I'm going to have you stick your finger in there and stir it around for about 10 seconds. All the way down in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and test these for some chlorine again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's pretty clear, ain't it? Where do you think all that chlorine went to?
On your skin.
All that chlorine went into your finger in less than 10 seconds, right? So that lets us know when we're taking showers and we have all this chlorine coming through that water, how much our bodies are soaking up chlorine, right? Our skins are our biggest organ on our body, so that means it absorbs a lot every single day, all right? So there's no wonder as to why 80% of homes we go into, there's someone with a skin allergen, irritant, like psoriasis or eczema, right? Chlorine is your #1 cause of dry skin, skin allergens like irritants like psoriasis and eczema, right? So it's a really, really big concern when we have, even just simply having dry skin, okay, from chlorine. That's a skin allergen, okay? Our bodies are not meant to be dried out. This right here is a water heater. This is 8 years old with 5 grams of hardness, okay? This is an electric water heater as well. So we can see that calcium magnesium buildup, that brick layer at the bottom. And once we start having these pollutants and minerals start flowing around in our water heaters, it starts to kind of attract and crystallize on these rods in there. And it gets so bad to the point where they start to crumble off because it looks like a cement paste on it. Okay? And we seen earlier that we're sitting out at 8 grains of hardness right now. How long have we had the home for?
About 5 years.
About 5 years. Is the water heater new too?
I'm not sure on that.
Okay. So then it's going to be the same exact things that are going through our pipes, faucets, fixtures, causing that buildup, making our pipes go bust out, and then we have to go and spend a whole bunch of money just to get those things replaced. Then we're also spending a whole bunch of money on those cleaning supplies just so we could try to clean our home the way we want to. But until when we use these chemicals with that hard water, we just create more soap scum and more buildup. Probably seen it around the home before, spots and film on the dishes, right? Build up on the shower heads. Again, those water heaters want to go out at the worst possible time. We finally go on vacation, then we get a call that our house is flooded. Wait for us to leave to do the worst possible damage, right? Just ironing our clothes and simple making coffee now. People go and buy your traditional $20 coffee pot because they know that that calcium magnesium buildup is just going to ruin their nice Keurig. What's the point of going and spending a whole bunch of money on it if it's just going to get ruined by your home? Things around the toilets, the film at the bottom of the shower curtains. When we have these things causing these films and buildups and not working with our products, it makes our life a living when we can't clean it, right? Because then we have to go and spend a whole bunch of money on other cleaning supplies because then we think it's our product, never our water. Right? Pages that I'm talking about, I don't like talking about these at all because they make me feel like I'm trying to scare people, and I'm not at all. It's better for us to know what's in our water as homeowners than to not, though, right? Chlorine being in our drinking water, okay? It's a known health risk. Taking long, hot showers of chlorinated water is bad for us, and the reason why that is because not only because our body soaks up all that chlorine, but then when that chlorine comes through the hot water and it evaporates into the steam, it turns into VOC gases as well. Okay, those are volatile organic compounds. Like I was saying, those are really, really big concern for people that have upper respiratory issues like asthma and things like that. There's over 10,700 new cases every single year going back to the rectal and bladder cancer just from chlorine being in our drinking water. You know, if we live in Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, then we have arsenic in our water. Just something that we have to deal with. Everybody has their things that they deal with. We could talk about Texas and how much lead they have in their water until we're blue in the face, right? But it's just something that we kind of deal with, okay? Arsenic comes from when the rocks in the soil are so compacted together underneath the ground, it starts to release arsenic. And then when it rains, the rainwater picks up that arsenic, getting into our drinking water. Right? Small increments of arsenic have also been traced back to cancer as well. Okay? Effects of arsenic in drinking water include, but are not limited to, changes in the skin, alterations in gastrointestinal, cardiovascular, hematological, pulmonary, neurological, and reproductive and developmental functions as well. Okay? Our bodies are made up of about 71% of water. So that means, I don't know if you ever got the chance to look at an anatomy or dissect a kidney stone, but if you ever get the chance, you're going to find out that a kidney stone is made up out of 100% calcium, magnesium, and iron. Okay? So that means that literally everything that's flowing through this water right now is not healthy for us besides that water, right? Calcium, magnesium, and iron, it's a really big misconception nowadays that having these things in our water is healthy for us. When, in reality, these are all inorganic compounds that our body naturally tries to filter out. And when it can't filter these things out anymore, it gets stuck in our kidneys, resulting in those kidney stones, leaving our kidneys to take the whole blunt of the force. This is our system. It's a little bit about what I was telling you earlier. You have those rocks on the bottom that's the quartz underbedding. It polishes all the VOC gases out of the water. Whoever took a stroll down the creek in the shallow part where all the rocks are, how clear that water is, that's because all those rocks are polishing out the VOC gases, the fog out of that water. Okay? Then you have the stratified ecolite resin. That does all your calcium, magnesium, clear ions, red ions, and all your petroleum byproducts. Then you also have the activated charcoal, the catalytic carbon. It does all your chlorine out of the home. Okay? Now, just like how every media these things get dirty, right? But the cool thing about these is they have a computer system inside of it, so it recognizes when these media get dirty. It'll automatically send a sodium solution throughout the entire media to recharge it. Okay? And instead of putting it back into our home like what the traditional water softener does, it'll flush it out of the system and out of the home. And like I was saying, we also use third the less amount of salt that a traditional water softener uses. So we're not having to deal with that sodium being put back into our water. Now, unlike batteries, these media actually last for forever. Okay? And we back that up with a lifetime warranty on all 3 of those medias. Okay? Now, how this system makes our water for our home absolutely perfect in every which way, it doesn't make the drinking water perfect. That's where the reverse osmosis comes in. The reverse osmosis gets rid of all your arsenic, nitrates, hormones, and pharmaceuticals while still putting your alkaline back into your water. So it allows our bodies to really hydrate the way that it's supposed to. Alright? Drinking a bottle of this is like going to the store, buying your favorite bottle of water, buying 8 of them, and drinking it. Besides, we get that right here at our kitchen sink. This gets installed right here underneath the kitchen sink with a faucet that's installed on either side. It'll match the faucet that you have now. That's going to be used for all of our cooking water, drinking water, fruits, vegetables, coffees, teas, things like that. So pharmaceuticals come from things being flushed down into the thing, and from when like how you get hormones from when women flush their things down the toilets and stuff like that. It just gets into our water because all of it's all connected through the city, and sometimes it starts to leak into your water, and then we end up getting pharmaceuticals into our water as well. Because
I've actually read studies on that about the pharmaceutical waste that's in our water.
Yeah, because a lot of people around here, especially up in northwest Arkansas, a lot of people flush their medicine. A lot of people do, and they don't throw it away or dispose of it the way they're supposed to. So that's another way pharmaceuticals get in our water as well. Have that refined water. Everything's just a lot softer, smoother, and it feels a lot nicer. We don't get those razor bumps when we're shaving anymore. I've had my beard since I was in high school, and I'm not gonna shave it to prove a point. But my fiance, she uses it when she's shaving her legs, and she says she absolutely loves it. There's a night and day difference. We don't get those spots and films and the film at the bottom of the shower curtains on the shower doors anymore, when we don't have these pollutants and minerals that are flowing through our water causing these films and buildups anymore. Right? When we have that refined water, it starts to break all of that down, getting rid of it, so we have to do little of maintenance as homeowners as we should. Even the same thing with laundry. When we have that refined water, everything lasts 30 to 50% longer. And the reason why that is because we don't have these pollutants and minerals that are eating away at our fabric and taking our coloring away a lot quicker, deteriorating things a lot faster. Everything smells a lot bright. It smells a lot better, looks a lot brighter, and is a lot softer when we have that clean, clear water going through our home. Really, right? It's just a peace of mind, knowing that we have the best, healthiest water there is possible for not just for the quality of our home, but most importantly, the quality of our health as well, right? Knowing that we don't have to deal with these things anymore. Main reason why we do it with the spouse here is so both of you guys can see what you're doing on a day-to-day basis with the water, but it's also because, you know, when we make a decision, we normally, you know, talk to the fiance, make a decision, talk to the wife, make a decision, unless we're comfortable making a decision by ourselves after seeing everything and hearing what we have to offer for you.
So let me ask you this: this was in the small.
That's 6 ounces.
How many ounces? 6 ounces, right?
You have about 200 to 300 gallons worth of water in your water heater. So yeah, we could imagine how much buildup we get in there, right? 8% of households that we go into, someone has a skin allergen, irritation like psoriasis or eczema. Even just simply having dry skin, like I was saying earlier, from the chlorine is a skin allergen or irritant.
And they all could be linked back from...
It is all linked back to our water. Every single bit of it. The biggest thing that people don't take into mind is, well, we've been using the water our whole life. Our body's used to it. Your body's not used to it. Our bodies are not meant to be dry. Our bodies are not meant to have calcium, magnesium, and irons going through it. Our body naturally tries to filter these things out. And when people do it for so long, they somewhat start to kind of turn naive to it. They're like, oh, well, I'm fine. I'm 40 years old. I'm fine. I don't have... When in reality, if we were to go and look at a dermatologist and get your skin checked out, or if we went and seen a doctor and looked at your kidneys and things like that, we would see all of these things in our body that's breaking our body down. Our body never gets used to these things. These are a really, really big health concern that people should really take into consideration, but it's very understandable when you don't, because we go our whole lives with doing it. So what's the point of changing my mind, right?
How conscious are you now of, you know, eating at restaurants, drinking water, going to people's homes or stuff like that?
My fiance will not let us go on vacation without taking this kit. Anyway, it doesn't matter where we go. I take it up to her mom's house, and she uses it at her mom's. Pretty much everybody's water. And every time I come, they're like, "You better bring your kit so we can use the refined water." Like, okay, it's always in my car. I always had it ready. We'll do a little cost comparison. Alright, so we have your raw tap and my refined water. Okay? When we do this, okay, I want us to use our imagination and think of every drop equaling out to $1 worth of soap or a scoop of laundry detergent, okay? When we wash our hair, we know we have enough soap and we have a nice good lathering, right? So that's what we're going to be looking for also. We're going to be looking for those suds and we're going to be looking for them to stay, okay? I'm going to start off with 3 in each. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So we're starting off with $3 worth of soap. Now, when we're talking about $3 worth of soap in a one-time usage, that should more than definitely give us enough soap to do a load of dishes, load of laundry, wash our hair, right? When we go ahead and pick these up, okay, we're going to notice how we have a little bit of tint over here, right? Over here. And then if we go ahead and give that a shake, we're going to notice how it kind of just looks like a bomb goes off in there, right? The soap is just spreading throughout that water. And we notice how we still have that clean, clear water over here. What we're going to give this a nice good shake. That $3 worth of soap, when we have good water, right, and we're using good products that we like, that should give us enough soap. When we give that a nice good shake, we're going to notice how we don't get bubbles at all, and it's just a clear, murky water, right? Let's go ahead and add 7. Let's take it up to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we got $10 worth of soap. $10 worth of soap in a one-time usage is an excessive amount of soap, right? That means that we're having to use $10 worth of soap every single time we go to try to clean something. Wash dishes, do laundry, right? Wash our hairs. When we shake that up, we're going to notice how we got bubbles, but they went away almost immediately, and it's just that murky, cloudy, soapy water. And we're also going to notice how that soap scum starting to form on the top of that water already, right? So that lets us know when we even use $10 worth of soap, one, we're already creating soap scum, which is really, really bad for our skin. And that also lets us know that we're not really rinsing that soap off, are we? That means that it's still the same exact stuff that's creating those film spots on our dishes. When we do laundry, right, we switch that laundry over to the dryer. That means those clothes are obviously wet still, right? So that means that when we switch that clothes over to the dryer, we're really just baking all that laundry detergent and soap chemicals into our clothes, right? Then we're wearing it all day. How many more drops or dollars of soap do you think it'll take for us to get to have enough suds to do a load of laundry, load of dishes, or wash our hair? Let's do 10. Let's double down and take it up to 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Now we're at $20 worth of soap. That lets us know right then and there that we're having to use an egregious amount of soap every single time we go to clean something. Clean our hair, do dishes, do laundry, right? So that means that there's a lot, and we like to use the Tide, right? Mm-hmm. So that means we have those 297 chemicals that are sitting in there. 41 of those are for cleaning our clothes, and all the rest of those chemicals are just simply for softening the water. So that means that we have over 140 plus chemicals that are getting baked into our clothes that are absolutely not even good for our clothes or our skin. When we shake that up, we finally get enough suds to do that load of dishes, load of laundry, wash our hair, right? We also notice how much soap is still left in that water, right? So that lets us know that when we're doing those dishes, loads of laundry, we're just soaking all of that stuff up, especially into our clothes. Then like I said, we put it into the dryer, and then it's sitting there baking into our clothes, then we wear it all day. So there's no wonder as to why 80% of homes we go into, there's someone with a skin allergen, irritant like psoriasis or eczema. We never give our body a chance to actually repair itself, right? And even when I'm sitting here talking, we're noticing how those bubbles are just going away. So let's go ahead and add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have $25 worth of soap. And it finally gives us those suds that we want and we're looking for. A lot of them for them to stay, right? After seeing that, how many more drops of soap or dollars of soap do you think it'll take for me to get to that point with my refined water? We're going to notice how with that $3 worth of soap, I get the same amount of suds as that $25 worth of soap over there in that raw tap water, right? And when we pick these up, we're going to notice the difference in the color of that water too. When we give this a little bit of time, we're going to notice how that water goes back to that clean, clear water. As to where with this one over here, we just have that soapy, murky water with those suds up top. You could also kind of see the difference in the color of the suds too. This one's a lot whiter, this one's kind of darker. When we notice how that water goes back to that crystal clear water, right? It's working its way back to it. Let me ask you a question. What would you rather do a load of dishes in? Load of laundry or wash our hair? Yeah, we said we like to use that Tide with that 297 chemicals, right? 41 of them for cleaning our clothes, all the rest of them for just making that water viable and softening the water. What we simply did was just rinse this and let it soak up all that refined water, right? And like I told you before, what our refiner does is it takes that water back to its supercharged state. So that means that it wants to absorb and collect everything that it comes into contact with. When we lift that up, we're going to notice how much detergent we still have left in that clean hand towel, right? Wouldn't it be crazy for it to give us enough suds to do another load of dishes, load of laundry? When we go ahead and we shake that up, we're going to notice how much detergent is still left in that little hand towel right there, right? We seen earlier, when we're sitting there and we're washing our clothes, shirts, jackets, things are all a lot bigger than this little hand towel. It means that we're really not rinsing any of that stuff off, are we, right? And then we dry it and we bake it into our clothes. Let me ask you a question. We like taking showers in the morning or in the evening, wake up, right? Get in the shower. We like taking those long hot showers, right? So we start breathing in those VOC gases for those 15-20 minutes from that chlorine coming through, evaporating into the steam. Then we grab that body wash that we said we like to use, right? The Old Spice. Then we sit there and we use all of those feel-good agents and harsh chemicals in there, start cramming all that soap scum in our body. Then we get out, right? Rinse all that stuff off, we get off. We get out. We should be safe at that point, right? Until we grab a little bit bigger towel than this to dry off with, right? With all of those soap scums and those 297 chemicals of detergent, then we start go ahead and just activating it back into our skin, treating our skin kind of like sandpaper, right? Then we go and we brush our teeth, right? With water like this. We rinse our mouth out after the mouthwash. Then we get dressed. Shirts, pants, underwear, socks, everything that's a lot bigger than this, right? So therefore it holds and absorbs a lot more, doesn't it? Then we go about our day, we sweat, we perspire, just normal things that happen. Get that irritating, annoying itch on the shoulder. Like, I know I'm not dirty, I just took a shower in the morning, right? Then we come home. Just like a lot of people do, we have busy households, crazy households. Or sometimes we just have long days at work. We don't want to feel like cooking anything crazy. So we go and we cook pasta, right? And water like this. Like I was saying earlier, it's a really big thing that people say, well, we're boiling the water, right? Well, we're getting all that stuff out of our water because we're boiling it. We boil water to get viruses and bacteria out of our water, germs, not filter out calcium, magnesium, and clear iron, right? So then we go and we want to relax for the rest of the night. So we hop back up in the shower so we can relax for the evening and redo everything that we just did in the morning right before we get ready to go to bed. Then we put our PJs on, and at this point, we're at the end of the day relaxing. We should be safe. We're not doing anything anymore, right? Until we get into bed in between blankets and sheets that were washed the same exact way, laying our face on a pillowcase that was washed the same exact way, right? Sometimes you fall into a deep sleep, you gotta hit one another, tell them to stop snoring. And we're sitting there and we're breathing in all these chemicals all night long, never giving our body the actual chance to repair itself or heal itself, right? Then we wake up the next day and we do everything all over again. So, there's no reason as to why 80% of homes we go into, there's someone with a skin allergen, irritant like psoriasis or eczema. And there's a big misconception nowadays that having these things in our water is healthy for us, when in reality, they're just simply tearing our bodies apart. How can we enjoy our home as homeowners if we can't even enjoy our health, right? That's why the Clean Living Program was created, so that way we can help homeowners get systems like this put into our homes, so we can enjoy our lives, enjoy our homes, and have the best, healthiest water there is possible. Not only just for the home, but most importantly, our health, right? So with that being said, after seeing everything, is now a good point to kind of sit down and I can explain to you what the Clean Living Program is and what we can offer?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and do it. Put out refiners or things like that. Well, what does that do and tell for them? It makes our life easier, right? What's the point in doing that? That makes us not have to go and spend as much money, runs them out of business, right? So they're going to do the cheapest way possible to get that water viable, so that way we still have to in turn go to the store, buy all these chemicals, buy water softeners, buy refiners, things like this, just so we can use our water the way we want to and actually have healthy water. Because again, same thing with the traditional water softener. You get a traditional water softener and it's going to take out your calcium, magnesium, but you still have your clear iron, red iron, your petroleum byproducts. You're also putting a lot of sodium back into your water, right? Because like with a traditional water softener, you're putting in about 2 20-pound bags of salt every single month. With the refiner, you're putting in cups of kosher salt in there, or not kosher, of coarse salt, extra coarse salt in there, as the system tells you that it needs it. Literally, you're adding in cups of salt every about 2 to 6 months, depending on your water usage. As compared with your water softener, it doesn't matter how much water you use. You can use a little bit, and you'll still have all of that sodium in your water. Just go ahead and dump these out real fast.
On average, how many households have a water purification system?
Not a lot.
Okay.
No, not a lot at all. And the reason why that is because everybody goes our whole lives with the way the water is, thinking that it's normal.
So do you think it's a lack of education, lack of information?
I think it's a lack of both. I think it's just a little bit of a lack of education, because not a lot of people care to even know what's in the water at all. And there's some people that just simply have never had that information put in front of their face. Take my reverse osmosis water first, okay? And just kind of treat it like a fine wine when you drink it, okay? Swirl it around your mouth. You're gonna notice how it gives you a nice polished feeling on the front of your teeth. You're gonna notice how it also makes the roof of your mouth very soft. You should also notice a nice little sweet taste to it as well. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So go ahead and pick up that raw tap, but before you drink it, take a nice little smell of it. We're gonna smell that public coordinated swimming pool water. You smell it?
A little bit.
A little bit? Mm-hmm. Go ahead and take a swig of it. We're going to notice how it gives us like a gritty feeling back into our mouth, right? Doesn't really taste too good.
Right.
Well, kind of dries out the mouth almost immediately, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead and take a swig of that reverse osmosis again. Taste the difference in that water, right? So what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna demonstrate to you as to why there's such a big difference in the taste of these waters. Right? This is a total dissolved solids meter, so this is gonna allow us to read the total dissolved solids as going through the water. When we drop that into that reverse osmosis water, we're gonna notice how that number comes back as 7. Alright? That means we have 7 total dissolved solids that's going through that water. That means we have some pretty purified water right there, right? When we go ahead and drop that in there, we're going to notice how it goes to a 106 or a 105. To a 105, right? So that lets us know that we have 105 total dissolved solids going through our water right now.
There you go. So it's actually working, right?
Mm-hmm. It's doing its job.
Cool.
Heck yeah. How much did that thing cost?
I don't know. I think my lady bought it.
106, 108.
Okay, so there's 108 contaminants in there.
Mm-hmm. Total dissolved solids. Nope. So that lets us know, right, that we wouldn't, if we knew what was going through this water on a day-to-day basis, we would not be using that water, right? Let me go ahead and show you something. Okay? I'm gonna wipe the bottom of my shoe and just mix it in there with that reverse osmosis. Okay? Let me add some more water in here. I'm gonna mix it in with that reverse osmosis water. Okay? And we're gonna go ahead and drop that back in there. We're gonna notice how it goes from that 7 to a 9, right? So it means that we're still 20 times less than that raw tap, right? Would you want to take another drink of that? Probably not, right? And it's very understandable, right? We've seen what I just did, right? I just put all them germs from the bottom of my shoe into that water. But we're still 20 times less than what we have over here in that raw tap, right? So it lets us know that if we knew what was in this water on a day-to-day basis, we would not be drinking, cooking, bathing with it, washing our clothes with it, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely nothing in this soap that'll hurt your skin, hair, clothes, absolutely anything that you would use with it. In fact, if we use this pure soap ivory with refined water, it would be the strongest cleaning agent we would have in our home. Right? So go ahead and pick up that soap and just get a nice good lathering on the front and back of both of your hands underneath that refined water. Okay? And before you rinse the soap off, we're gonna keep those hands separate, okay? And then you can take them out of the water now and just get a nice good lathering on your hands real fast. You got a good one? Alright, so take your left hand, put your hand underneath that refined water, pull your fingers down to your palm, and as you get all that soap off, you're gonna notice how it's a silky, soft, smooth film, right? Almost like you kinda can't get that soap off your hand. No matter how much I sit here and talk and I don't shut up though, that feeling just doesn't go away, does it?
Right.
And if you take a little smell of that hand real fast, it'll smell little if any soap smell at all.
Go.
Alright, so take that right hand, bring it over here, and go ahead and get all that soap off. Alright? As we get all that soap off, we're going to pull those fingers down to our palm. We're going to feel that squeaky clean feeling that we always associate cleanliness with, right? We also probably feel like we're hitting a brake on something too, right? Mm-hmm. Now, and if we take a smell of that hand, it's going to smell a lot like that ivory soap, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
So the reason why that happened is just like that soap scum that I showed you earlier. We just successfully crammed our right hand with all that soap scum, not allowing our body to breathe. Our pores are clogged with all that soap scum, not producing the natural oils or lotion that our body's supposed to. What we did with that left hand, you can dry off your hands too. What we did with your left hand over there was we immediately rinsed all that soap off. And we allowed our pores to open up, producing the natural oils and lotion that our body's supposed to, allowing it to breathe, okay? You'll actually feel the difference in your hands when I'm done with the demonstration 15 minutes from now, 20 minutes from now, okay? Wouldn't it be absolutely amazing to get out the shower and have our whole body feeling like that on our left hand?
Mm-hmm.
Our right one probably feels like you need a little dry and tight, like when you put some lotion on, right? That left one, that silky, soft, smooth feeling. So when we have refined water and we use plant-based organics and natural soaps, lotion usage gets cut in about 60 to 65% in usage of lotion. Okay? You guys' dishes are actually pretty clean. When we pick these up, right, we're gonna notice how we get those films and the spots on our dishes. Just something that's kind of normal, right? Some things that just happen. And another way to check for cleanliness on a glass is just to simply run water over it. And we're going to notice how that water just wants to beat up and go every which way besides off the glass, right? What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to wash this cup with the same exact pure soap ivory that they say is going to leave that slime and film all over our dishes, right? What kind of detergent dishwashing soap do we use? Dawn?
Probably Dawn.
Do you guys use any pods or anything like that?
No pods.
So when we go ahead and lift that cup back up, we're going to notice how it goes back to that pretty brand new crystal clear, right? Now, wouldn't it be amazing to get all of our dishes that clean every single time we wash them? And that was just simply with that pure ivory soap, right? Not anything crazy in there, just a pure organic soap. And you're going to be able to notice the difference even next to a clean one, too. What kind of detergent do we like to use? Gain, Tide?
So, probably Tide.
Tide. There's 397 chemicals in Tide, right? 297 chemicals in Tide, sorry. 41 of those chemicals are for cleaning your water. All the rest of those chemicals are meant for softening your water just to treat it so we can wash our clothes and not have to keep rinsing it and rinsing it and rinsing it. The reason why we have recommended levels on those cups when we do our laundry is because they need a certain amount of chemicals in that water to make it viable enough to clean your clothes and soften that water. So that means if we ever developed a skin allergen irritation like psoriasis or eczema and we went and seen a doctor or dermatologist, they would immediately tell you to get off of that laundry detergent. And the reason why that is because they have what we call feel-good agents in it. It's a million other harsh chemicals in there just for softening your water that is really, really bad for our body. Same exact thing when it comes to this soap. We use body wash or bars of soap?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
So what kind of body wash do we use?
Probably like some Old Spice or
Some
something
Old
like
Spice
that.
or something? So if we ever developed a skin allergen or irritation, and we went and seen a doctor or dermatologist, they would immediately tell you to get off of that body wash. And the reason why that is because of all those feel-good agents in it.
Right.
And also the fragrance. The fragrance is made with alcohol, so we smell good for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then that alcohol drains our body, drying our body out even more along with that chlorine, right? Instead, they will tell you to use a pure soap ivory like this right here. Now, if you look on the back of that body wash, you would notice how it has the same exact ingredients as this ivory, but also has those million other harsh chemicals in there, okay? There's absolutely nothing in this pure soap ivory that will hurt your skin, hair, absolutely anything. Clothes, anything. If you use this refined water, this would actually be the strongest cleaning agent we would have in our home. When we just run this simply underneath that refined water, we're going to notice how we immediately start to get bubbles, right? And that's the point of a bubble bath, is to get those bubbles, right? And when we stick our hand in there, we're going to notice how it stays that clean, clear water, right? Let's go ahead and try to get some more bubbles real quick. This right there, the reason why that's happening is because the calcium magnesium buildup that's going through this faucet right now. That's why this is happening, okay? The little spouts in there that are supposed to let all that water go through, same exact reason why the shower heads, they start to go every which way, is because that calcium magnesium in there is starting to build up, clogging those up. And as I do so, we're going to notice all that soap scum that I was just explaining about, how much that is just in that little bowl right there of that bubble bath, right? So that lets us know that when we're taking showers, right, there's a lot more soap scum that's being formed. And so when we're sitting there and we're creating that soap scum and we're just cramming it into our skin that whole entire time, right? Not allowing our bodies to breathe or produce the natural lotions or repair itself at all. So we're really not giving our bodies a chance to even repair itself throughout the entire day, right?